Hello, I'm Ryan from Colosoul Music. I'm with the band Wooly Mammoth. Want to introduce yourselves?
I'm John.
I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
Well, what do you guys play in the band?
I sing and play keyboards.
I'm on guitar.
Drum kit. Yeah.
Nice. How'd you all meet?
Sorry?
How did you all meet?
We actually all met at Whopper, the three of us. So we started in the same course at the beginning of last year, 2016. And yeah, so Chris and I started playing together pretty quickly, and then we started a band, and then eventually got Josh to play drums in it as well. So,
He wanted to from day one though.
Yeah. He was just there. Like, oh guys, let me join in.
Yeah. Let me play.
So it was really just kind of an organic, like you guys were all playing music around, and you started playing music together, and the band just happened.
Yeah.
So like an official time, you're like, hey, we're a band now. What's up with that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're still doing that.
Yeah. They're still a band? I don't know. Yeah, I suppose John just had heaps of material that he'd been sitting on for ages, and then he was like, "Yeah, I might actually play this with people." And he did.
I just invited Christian to my house,
Yeah.
and like just had him in like a little like makeshift studio. I was like, "What do you think of this one?" Like,
So what was that like? Like, so you had all these like ideas for songs, and like, were they like half written or like full songs? It was like get a group together and actually play them and gig them and stuff.
I suppose they were half written because I think most of the time it's pretty good that way. Like you go, here's my idea and here's what it sort of sounds like, but then you take it to a band and you turn it into something else. Like I at least found for me, one of the first things I said to Christian was, hey, like these are just ideas. Like it's not like this is a finished song or anything, because it's more. I think for us anyway, we get a lot out of collaborating.
Well, it started off like John would write like pretty much the whole song, and he'd have drum grooves in his head, but no, like the new kind of stuff you write, we all get in a room and we have some chords and lyrics, and then we just start putting it all together.
Like
Yeah.
some of the best stuff that we've done, I reckon, in the last month has just been like we'll talk about it for a while and we'll be like, oh, we kind of want this, and then someone will just go, let's start, and then we'll just start, and what we play just ends up being the sort of basis for what it just ends up being, which I loved that personally.
Yeah.
I thought it was
We've
sick.
kind of exhausted John's like back catalogue of songs with really silly drum grooves that just would never get played on a drum kit.
Yeah, nice. And how do you guys come up with the band name?
Oh,
Wooly Mammoth.
do you want to take this one?
Hairy boys.
Hairy boys. Because band names suck. Like it's one of the worst things to come up with, because everything that you come up with just sucks. But like, I reckon every band that ever named themselves hated their name at first, and then they were just like, oh, let's just do it. We've got a gig soon. We need a name, and then like they'll get famous and like, oh no, it actually works. We were just kind of in a bit of a headspace. We needed a name, and we were like throwing around words. We had like a little group chat. Someone would just send a word, and like if you didn't get a reply, it's like, oh, well, we'll move on to the next word.
Yeah. You know, you're getting desperate when you start using one of those band name generators.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wu-Tang Clan names.
Yeah, pretty much. What's your gang name? Let's use that. But we had like a really big rehearsal, and someone was like, oh, that was like a mammoth rehearsal. And then we just threw out like, that's a cool word. Let's throw some adjectives on it. I think we had like chrome mammoth.
Oh,
Like-
Chrome got thrown around way too much.
Yeah. It's a horrible word. I don't like it. And Wooly Mammoth just stuck.
Yeah,
And then it also coincided with us being able to grow pretty good facial hair.
Yeah, it's a win-win, really.
I wasn't in the band at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we probably wouldn't have named it.
So you've got like the main for it. You just need to catch up a bit here. I
Yeah.
believe in you.
Yeah.
We'll get
So
there.
you guys, there's a bunch of other bands by the name Wooly Mammoth. Oh, there's one in DC. So what do you guys think? Scott Pilgrim style, wall-to-wall battle of bands. Do you win?
Well,
Oh.
Battle of the Mammoths.
Well, I don't think they've played in a while, so I reckon they might be a bit rusty. So we might have the edge there.
yeah. But we'd have to host it at Wooly Mammoth venue over east.
Yeah, in Brisbane, 2 L's. What
Yeah.
are they doing?
I think there's also a couple of like hard dub sort of DJs out there with the Wooly Mammoth names. We've been tagged in a couple of photos. It's just couldn't be more irrelevant, really.
It's just getting into a dirty free-for-all of a band battle.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Who gets custody over Wooly Mammoth?
Yeah.
Okay. So in your say average songwriting day. How's it go? Do you wake up like I'm making music today, or how's it start?
Oh shit! Half the time it's just like, will I even have time to do that today? Because it's just like the thing with songwriting is sometimes you could sit there for 2 hours and just achieve nothing, you know, and then you just go to uni or whatever and just like, wow, I just spent 2 hours doing something and nothing happened. And then later that day you could be like, I really need to go to this class or whatever, and you sit down at a piano and then just boom, 4 chords, a verse, and you've got a song. So I suppose a normal songwriting day is just whenever the time is right and you have an idea you want to work on. And then for us as a band, you throw 4 people into it and it's like, all right, have we had a big week? Are we all tired? Can we be bothered right now? Does it sound good? Like,
but all it takes is one person to play one thing that someone else will jump on,
yeah.
and then you're off.
Yeah. Okay. So how would you like write it then? Like spontaneous or like really planned your songwriting? Do you like completely rely on these moments, or do you like work really hard to try and build up to the point where like you can just take off with the song from there?
I think we've been playing together for a while now, so we can kind of see where other people want to go, just like by hearing what they're playing, and also using a lot of reference tracks. John brought a song to the band the other night, and Josh put a Methyl Ethyl song on, which was awesome. I can't actually remember which one it was, but we didn't quite sort of. What's that?
Zubu, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
The
No.
first track, I think it's like number 28 or something like that.
Oh, that's a good song.
So that's really cool drum groove in it. So
Yeah, and then you already pick up a vibe. And I think a song needs a vibe before it needs like a structure or something.
Okay. So you're more into spontaneous, just the moment of the song.
Well, what I reckon is interesting too, like coming from a place where, so say you've written, like in our case, we've probably done like 10 to anywhere between 10 and 20 songs together. And you start to realise after a while that if you just do the same things that you've always done, they are just going to start sounding a little bit the same. So we'll just start playing something and then we'll go, nah, scrap that. How about we just do this totally different like tom groove in this section? And I think we've gotten to that point now where we kind of like, when we're hearing ourselves do something, we actively want it to be a bit different. We're like, okay, well, what is this song actually going to be about? Because we don't want it to just be like all the other ones.
A fight against trying to do the same thing and trying to make more of your sound as opposed to the same song forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. great point actually. Yeah, expanding the sound rather than just staying on the same bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what you're songwriting, it sounds like you like to take the lead a lot and plan it out. Does anyone else ever try and jump forward with bits, or is it always a single person?
Oh no, I'll write the genesis of the chords and I'll write the lyrics. And if I have a really strong idea for the song, I'll present that. But more often than not, it's just we take that chord and lyric basis and turn it into a song, the 4 of us.
Yeah. It's very much skeleton and then adding all the essential stuff. That's mostly the process. Yeah.
So with your songwriting, you mentioned you've written 10 to 20 songs. You've only released 4, so you have a lot in the works right now.
It feels like a lot. Like if you to have not released like a proper body of stuff, but have released 4 songs, it kind of feels like a lot. But yeah, we're writing for an EP at the moment, so we're going to record that in December, and ideally release that next February.
Any tracks you're particularly excited about on that, or is it all like top secret?
under wraps.
Well, we've got a couple at the moment we're pretty excited for, but we're trying to think from the perspective of writing more than we need, and then going back and looking back at what we've done, and sort of going, hey, all right, we like those ones, or
And I think
like those ones too.
there's been a few.
Yeah.
And I think putting out multiple songs like that, sort of 5 or 6 tracks, really sort of cements your sound a bit more. So yeah, if we can make it a bit more cohesive and a one unit kind of thing, that's sort of the plan. But we went down south to Wave House and Yelling Up a few weeks ago and wrote a few tracks there in about sort of 3 or 4 days. And already you can see they've all got a specific sound. Don't know if it was the waves or the crazy view or the clouds or whatever it was, or the very windy days. But yeah, whatever we came out with, we were really happy with.
And like, reference to what you were saying before, that wasn't really, in a way, an intentional thing. That was just like, okay, so these are the songs. Work out the chords, work out your parts, and then you just sort of stumble upon this sound. Like the funniest was with the cover that we were doing, and it just ended up we play it live, and it just ended up a lot heavier than some of the other stuff, and I don't even know if that was intentional on our parts. But it's nice to have that variation.
I reckon Darren had the biggest influence down south. He had this Dig player who just kind of had a jam. I reckon he had a big influence on the new sound.
Yeah.
How's that work, jamming with a ditch player? Because
I don't know. We did it twice. I still don't really know.
Solid Rock by Guana.
It kind of just asks you what key it's in, and he's like, "Yeah, mate, I can get a low E flat." Like, it's very funny.
nice.
Yeah. It was good though. It was kind of like I couldn't really hear it for most of it.
Yeah.
But we recorded it and we listened back and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be fun. Nice like Australian roots type stuff in there.
Yeah.
So you guys have been involved in music with WoW. You all went to WoP and stuff, so you're all pretty serious about it. So do you come from like similar backgrounds musically and listen to the same type of guys, or do you just take different things into it?
Well, Josh gave me a Silverchair CD. No, not is it Silverchair?
Yeah.
Yeah, CD the other day, Frog Stomp, which I hadn't actually listened to before. And I think that kind of gave me a bit of a picture of his the music that he was into when he was younger.
It's a 14-year-old me. Rock God.
I don't think so. I think we all did slightly different. But when it all comes together, it works. I loved Simple Plan. I still do.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And like Paramore and stuff. I reckon they're great. That's
Guilty
it.
pleasures.
Massive guilty pleasures.
Yeah, nothing but guilty pleasures.
Nothing but, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so who were some of your other favorites for you guys as well?
You go first, mate.
It's a tough question. Like at the moment or in like over time?
Oh, just at the moment, all time.
Songwriting wise, I used to listen to a lot of Chet Faker. Well, that first album I thought was really cool. Used to listen to a guy called King Cruel a lot when I started writing songs as well. And then more recently, this band called Whitney, I think are awesome. And I found this song called Old Friends by Pine Grove like a few months ago. And it's like this concentrated little bottle of nostalgia that I just have to listen to every day now. I think songwriting's what attracts me most. Like I would just hear a song that just says something, and then more often than not, it's surrounded by like instrumentation and musicians that just reflect what's going on in that song, and it's just.
So it's a lot less about the style of the song and more about the like substance behind it and the ability that's made it.
I think like you're always going to be attracted to that style that you like or that you listen to at the time, but sometimes the substance can transcend that. So like Whitney are country soul.
Yeah.
And like a year ago I'd have been like, what the hell is country soul? But there's the actual soul, lack of a better word, kind of shone through that, and that's what attracted me about their sound. Yeah. Josh?
Oh, it's such a hard one. I don't know. Hey, I've been listening to a lot of like, just like clever pop music lately. It's just a bit like really loving that Meth Worthwell album, and then there's like Matt Corby and a bit of Tame Impala. Bunch of Perth bands as well that I've been listening to really like our mates Demon Days and band Segway Safari. I've been just smashing their stuff on Spotify. It's too good.
Yeah, nice. And with what guys you like and listen to, how much do you say try and imitate them, but also try and like create your own style? You mentioned before like you'd put on like sample, try to listen to that, some stuff that could kind of inspire you. How much do you feel you try and imitate the bands you like because they can be so different? Because you don't sound like Simple Plan.
No.
Damn!
I like them, but I'm not going to try and make it sound like them. I think imitate's a bit of a dangerous word. I think reference is more of the word that we go for. That's why we have reference tracks that we put on. I think it's a hard one. I think you reference them because the feeling that you get when you listen to them is really good, and you enjoy it, and you want to try and take the elements that give you that feeling and put it in your song without ripping them off. Not even just because that's just like a shitty thing to do, but just because you don't want to.
It's subconscious sometimes too. Like, I think you just end up playing a part that's a little bit like something that you've listened to. Or you go, what if I took like a holy approach on this track, you know? But I think generally you'll get an idea from somewhere, and that'll be what starts you being pushed in that creative direction, and then normally where you end up, or where we as a band end up, is just a little bit different because we're our own musicians with our own sound, I think. So it's like you don't end up imitating, but you definitely take inspiration from the artists that you love and hope that it doesn't sound too much like them.
Yeah. You mentioned before that you guys jam a lot, like you jam together to create songs, jam with Didgeridoo Guy. Any famous bands you'd love to work with?
Famous bands.
What a question.
Define famous.
Like, it don't need to be famous, just people you'd love to work with.
Yeah. Phew.
Too many.
That's a massive question.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoy playing melodic sort of lead guitar lines over folk, sort of jazz folk songs. Doing that in a band with Grace Armstrong at the moment, which is really cool. And bands like, there's a new girl, Carla Geneve, she's coming up. That kind of music, which is really sort of storytelling and stuff, which is a lot of stuff that I've listened to as I've been growing up, to just add like little sprinkles of spice and stuff to songs like that. That's cool. That's probably the best way I can answer that question.
Yep, fair enough.
Can't think of anyone else. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think like it can often be really cool working with people who are a cross between, say, producer musician. You know? Like we've done a couple of songs now with Matt Geo at RADA, and it's cool knowing that he's coming from a band perspective as well. You know, like he's been in a band and he's approaching it that way. And like I suppose a few of our friends too have worked with some of the guys from Eskimo Joe, and that's cool in a sense too, because it can be really cool having perspective from people who've been on both sides of that kind of experience. Because sometimes just the communicating as a band and getting to a destination together is half the thing, you know. So I don't know if that answers the question.
You didn't give him a name. We need a name.
No, I was trying to think of one, but I couldn't really find
Yeah, no, it's a tough question, so you don't really have to. I think it's good. It's more the type of person you'd like to work with,
Yeah.
which is nice. And do you have anyone, or are you as lost as everyone else?
I'm lost.
Anyway, move on. So you guys have done a fair bunch of gigs around Perth, playing around. What do you like about gigging?
The people.
The people?
Yeah. The people that watch you, and the people that you meet, and the people that also play, and the people that give you free drinks. Yeah. It's a big social thing. And I think, especially in Perth, it's a pretty tight-knit community.
Yeah.
So you can't really get anywhere unless you're a good guy, you know? And you network and stuff. But it's enjoyable networking.
Yeah, so you're in it for the drinks.
It's not what I said. merely a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like when you've been working on something for ages, like you've been, in a room just like smashing out this song, and you've heard it so many times that you can't really hear it with fresh ears anymore. So you kind of just like, I'm not sure if this is cool, and should we change this? So yeah, and then you finally get to take it to a stage and just like watching people react to it, and then, we see people having a bit of a bug, it's a good feeling, because you've been working on it for a while, so
Nice.
I really like that.
And even just when you get to that point in the show where you can, like, you're enjoying yourself to the point where you can just turn that off. Like, you can just, like, you're not being critical of what it sounds like anymore, because you're kind of just almost watching yourself do it. I really like that, personally.
Yeah.
When you're not thinking about it, you're just playing.
Having a good fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
it is very fun.
It's really fun.
You know what's happening when John sometimes go on the guitar and he turns around and he'll give you a couple of these ones. It's just, he's having a great time.
Yeah. Cool. And any parts you don't like?
Gear.
Oh,
Gear.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, don't get me started.
Yeah.
I used to be playing a keyboard in our show as well,
Oh,
and I was stripped of that responsibility.
don't want to have to lift weights to keep up.
Yeah, and I kind of don't mind anymore because it's just a guitar.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a mission every time we have to get all our stuff on there, and you're almost doing like a gear setup time trial.
Yeah.
It's like a race you don't get rewarded
We haven't
for.
got more than 15 minutes here, so it's like
And then you'll finish and you'll be like, alright,
Yeah.
sweet, you know.
Well,
yeah,
lights come on, you're all on
years.
stage. Oh, where do I plug this one in, guys?
yeah. That's Andrew. He's not here at the moment.
Well, any gigs coming up as well?
Oh,
Yeah, we're putting a show on at Clancy's in Fremantle with Spacer Jane, Airline Food, and Michael Dunstan. That'd be great. And
26th of August.
26th of August. And in September, we're supporting Hibiscus at their launch at the Indie Bar on the 2nd, which will be awesome. And then supporting Arm & Soy as well on the 9th at the Bird.
Cool.
Yes, that'll be all real good gigs, all real good bands. Keen to meet people and have fun.
And have drinks.
Good stuff. And so you've released your 3 or 4 singles now.
Mm-hmm.
Any works for a further EP or album actually coming out?
So, yeah, we're writing it at the moment. And we'll hopefully put the finishing touches on that in December, January, and then look at releasing it in February. So it's still quite early in the process. It takes especially because this time rather than just go, alright, which song do we like the most? What can we do with it? I suppose we actually have to formulate an idea again now because we're still writing the songs and then we got to think, okay, what's our concept here? Or who do we want to do the art? And at least with releasing a single, Edge, it was like, okay, let's just find something that reflects the song. Whereas when you're picking 6 songs,
Yeah.
it's what are we trying to say? But I'm really excited to do all that. And also we're going down south to record it at Wave House, so I think that will come into the experience we have and that will shape it a little bit, which I'm super excited for.
We're gonna harness some more wave power.
Yeah.
Yeah, harness the wave power.
That's it.
Okay, thank you guys for this. It's been great talking to you.
It's great to be here.
Wish you good luck with the EP. Hope we'll hear you again.
Thank you very much.
Cheers for having us.
Yeah. Shouts out to Colosoul.
To decide.